Alrighty. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing? I'll wait a few minutes for everyone to get in here. All right. Alrighty. RZ, what's up? What's up? So once again, the opening range ICT indicator did very well on the 1 minute. You can see this inversion right here, right? You know, it took its time, but eventually it kind of made its way up here. And then obviously we gapped up, right? So that helped too. But yeah, you know, in New York, it was much cleaner than what I expected. Much cleaner than what I expected. But yeah, so now we have Asia. We got Asia session. So let's go over here. Let's kind of clean up the chart a little bit. Let's delete this, delete that. We did take out this equal low, so I'm going to delete that as well. We do have yesterday. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, so we got yesterday's low, which is technically today's low. Right there. Yesterday's high. You know, guys, we are still in this area. We are still just kind of in this area right here, right? I really want us to kind of get out of that area, but we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens. Let's drop down to the 1 hour, see what's going on here. So I can go ahead. I can delete this. I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Do I need that? I don't really need any of this. I don't need any of this in here. Still change the character, so there, sure. Very nice, Tamara, very nice. What's up? So on the hourly time frame, we do have a gap. We have a gap on the hourly time frame. Pretty solid gap. So we could look for like a rebalance into this. Pretty big gap right here. So here's our 1 hour for value gap. Right here. So we could look for something like that. Let's go down to the 15 minutes right here. 15 minute. Let's see. Okay. Let me think here. Okay, so we do have this 1 hour gap right here. You know, which we are hooked. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we launched up here. You know, pretty much right at Asia Open, right? We launched up. We have a new day opening gap. About 180 points, tapped into this 1 hour gap. You can see we did reject it. You see we did reject the gap. So you know, maybe we kind of do rebalance into this. I don't know. We'll see. Drop down to the 15 real quick. See what's going on here. Let me delete all this. I don't need this anymore. Oh, look at that. I'll delete. I'll do that for now. So yeah, just kind of consolidating right there. Kind of consolidating the 15. Drop down to the 5 real quick. Yeah, just going sideways still. 1 minute. Yeah, you can kind of see what we're doing. A little bit more. How big is this range right here? 60 points. How big are these candles? These candles are about 8 points-ish, 8 to 10-ish. I guess 5 to 10. So what do we have? Let's go to the 5 real quick. No gaps there on the 5. Look at the 1 minute right here. See what's going on. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you know, we're kind of just in this area right here now. Kind of just in this area. You know, I would like the price to kind of start doing something. I don't really like where we're at right now. You know, what I would want to see from us is like, I want to see us kind of like take out this low, pull back here, and then like look for higher maybe. You know, we'll see. We'll see what we get here. We do have a 15-minute gap, which, okay, so we did rebalance into the 15-minute gap. You know, if I draw that, here's that most recent 15-minute gap right here. So we did rebalance into that right there. Tap the CE pretty much perfectly, and we were pushing higher off of that. So you know, that could have been, you know, maybe something like this could have been nice if you got like in off this, right? Something like that. All right, we are getting a little push right now right here, which is inversing this gap right here. So, you know, if you are super aggressive long and you're expecting this to inverse, then you could look to get long off that inversion. For me, I'm gonna wait a little bit. There's a 5-minute in that 15-minute. Yeah, I'm sure there is. Let's see. H says they hate trading Asia, but keep trading it. Yeah. Remember, guys, today at 35 likes, we will do an Apex giveaway. Once we hit 35 likes, we will do an Apex giveaway. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that, guys. Yeah, so we did push up there. You know, let's see. We got this candle close. Oh, this is a 2-minute actually. Yeah, so there's a 1-minute. Yeah, so we do have this big fair value gap right here. So if you guys are bullish, you want to see price hold this thing right here. You know, you do want to see funded or eval. Apex does not do funded, straight to funded giveaways. They do not do straight to funded. All right, so we did rebalance there. We did rebalance there off this 1-minute gap. You know, let's see if we can. I don't want to go any lower than a 1 minute. I mean, like if you guys are super bullish, you know, this would be the place to get long. What would be your target? You need a draw. I mean, first target would just be this high right here, obviously. Other than that, you know, you're really I mean, this high, you know, it's kind of like these relative equal highs. Yeah, probably inside this little 1 hour. Let's check the 1 hour actually. I don't know. I mean, like, I would say like this 1 hour gap fill right here, or sorry, I would say this 15-minute gap fill right here. So probably like 21,958. Yeah, this thing looks like it's gonna hit that. So if you were in this, probably wait for the rebalance at close. Probably do something like that. There's that 1 hour. About to take out this high. Let's see what happens here. I mean, like so far during Asia, we had that initial push, right? We had this initial push right here, and then we just kind of range, you know, just kind of ranging right here. So I don't really want to do anything right here. You know, there's not much for me to do in this area. So you know, let's kind of zoom out here on the hourly, see what happened. So on the hourly, you know, we took out our equal low, which was our draw liquidity. We took this out this morning. If you guys were on stream this morning, it was a pretty solid stream. So yeah, we took out equal low this morning, and then we snapped up, right? We took out equal low. We had a solid inversion as well, right there. Which, you know, we did snap up off those equal lows. Go back to the 1 hour. 50% of this. We're at a 50% of this leg right there. You know, there's rebalance. There. Yeah, I mean, like, there's 50% of that. Yeah, if you wanna count like just this leg, there's your 50% there. So you know, we're already in premium technically for that. Let's see. How do you know when to look for longs or shorts overall? I'm trying to get better at that at the moment. I kind of just watch price action every entry and every level to see what to do. Yeah, no, like it can be kind of difficult. Some days you kind of have a clear draw of liquidity, and then some days you kind of have to wait. You know, kind of got to see what's going on. This morning was really easy because, you know, like I just mentioned, we had these equal lows here. We had these equal lows, and price was just, here, let me go to 15-minute. Price was trending very, very nicely down towards this, and we kept rebalancing into these 15-minute gaps. And then, so like for example, like right here, I noticed that we rebalanced into this one. We rebalanced into this gap right here. Oh, I drew that wrong. 1 second. Pulled back into it. Boom, went lower, right? This one right here, same thing. Pulled back into it, went lower. And then we had this one right at market open. Pulled into it, right? So then I was like, okay, you know, we're obviously trending lower. This is probably, you know, we're pulling back into this 15-minute fair value gap right here. You know, we have equal lows down there, right? It's a good chance we're probably going to go for that. We got the 1-minute inversion right there. And there's our push lower to those equal lows, right? Then once we hit our equal lows, which was our draw of liquidity. See, our draw of liquidity was our equal lows right here. Once we hit it, what happened? We snapped up, right? So that was kind of like, all right, you know, we're, you know, like that was the main. That was kind of like the main thing right there. So snapped up off of that. We do have a daily gap lower, but you know, since we did take out equal lows, we did snap up pretty high. We probably wanted some relief, so that's why we are kind of pulling back now. We are pulling back into an hourly gap, right? So we are pulling back into this hourly gap right here. You can see we are rejecting it. So if we do start slamming down hard, you know, like off of this level, if we do start slamming down like this and start holding these gaps, I'm going to look for the same thing, pullbacks into fair value gaps, look for the lower time frame inversions, and then I'll look for this daily gap, you know, just get some trades down to that. You know, let's say we do just completely rip through this inversion right here. You know, I could see us going higher. I could definitely see us going higher. Let's check a 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, like I can see us going to yesterday's high if we do just inverse this gap. So it's just like, you know, it's a lot of experience, just understanding kind of like bias and draw liquidity, where you think price is going. You know, it's a lot of experience. But if you if you do want to learn some more ICT stuff on my website, go to education right here, and then ICT course right here. I have a bunch of videos in here. I'm adding another one tonight to it, which I already posted it to YouTube, but I'm going to add it tonight. So there's a bunch of videos in there. It kind of goes over, you know, all that stuff, all that good stuff. What's up, Ryan? How's it going? Let's go to ES. All right, so we do have some bearish SMT with ES right here. We have some bearish SMT here. So as you can see, we did take out ES, or sorry, we did take out that high on ES right there. And then if we look at NQ, we obviously did not take that out. So that is some bearish SMT. I'm going to delete this gap. I don't think we need it that much anymore. You know, we do have a pretty nice little sell sequence down into this gap. So see how we're rebalancing this right here, this 1 minute gap. So, you know, if we do decide to inverse this thing, you know, like if we do start ripping up higher like that, like maybe you could look for some, maybe the 5 actually. I mean, like you got a gap here. Let me just turn on the indicator. Yeah, so you got 3 gaps right in a row, you know. So like, if we do continue and inverse this gap, you could look for lower. You could look for lower. I wouldn't mind it, especially with the bearish SMT that we have. You know, maybe I'll try that if we get it. Obviously, if we get it. It's not great. Like this price action is not great. Okay, so we are inversing these gaps right here. Let me look at ES. Like if we inverse all of these in like one candle, like this thing could go higher. This thing could push. This thing could like to push higher. We got a new hourly candle in 40 minutes. We got a new hourly candle in 40 minutes. When will I take a trade? I have no idea. So we did just get a strong okay, so what did we do? We had a nice little sell sequence into this 1 minute for value gap. All right, we did not inverse it, right? We stayed above the CE. We got a strong candle right there. So strong bullish candle right there. I don't know if I want to go for that long. I don't think so. I don't want to go for it. Yeah, I don't really want to go for it. Yeah, I'm staying out on this because I don't like how we're kind of in here for longs, because we are just sitting inside this 1 hour gap, right? And this gap has 40 minutes left. Like this thing could easily just kind of turn back over. We do have the bearish SMT with ES. So I mean, like this thing could obviously go, but it's not my play. If we do slam down lower and if we do inverse this 1 minute gap, then maybe I'll look for a short lower. But as of right now, I do not want to get long. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you. So still no trades for me. No trades yet. I'm still waiting. You know, we did rebalance right here. This fair value gap, this 1 minute fair value gap, and then we got a pretty strong push off of it, inversing these 3 gaps in one candle. RZ says he hopes to get more conservative one day. It's it's a lot of experience. It's a lot of experience just being super patient. You know, I am not like, I mean, all the traders that I look up to are not aggressive traders at all. You know, they're super patient. You know, that's how I think trading should be, in my opinion. At least for my style. Who's my teacher? I don't really have one, but I have traders that I look up to. What am I looking for right now? I'm looking for some movement because we are just in this. We're just ranging right here. You know, like maybe like a slam down through here would be nice. But other than that, I mean, like, I'm not seeing much. I'm not seeing much right now. If you guys have been watching me for a while, or even for a little bit, you guys know that I'm very patient. You know, I'm very patient. Very patient. Am I aiming for reversal breakout? I'm aiming for right now. I don't know. Right now I don't know. You know, it could be both. Because one, you know, let's say we do inverse this gap right here, this big 1 hour gap that we're in. Let's say we do start lifting off of it, right? If we form a higher time frame for a value gap here, I'm gonna look for a pullback to get into it to get long. All right. But then let's say, you know, let's say we start slamming down super low here and inverse this gap. You know, I probably wouldn't get short off it now. I don't know. I'm not really liking it. You know, like, yeah, I mean, we could look for that. Like, you know, if we do break this high, right, we could look for the push up. That is if we continue. I would say for me to start getting short, yeah, okay. So for me to start getting short, I would have to see this thing slam through this. I would see this thing slam through this and then look for something like this. So like right now, like we're just in an area where I don't really want to take a trade. You know. I'm not the trader that's constantly in a trade. Your kids took all your patience away. Hey, what did your indicator catch for Asia? I don't have it on Asia right now. I don't. But if you wanna go at it and check it out, you can find it in the Discord for free. So. How come my trading view lags 5 minutes from yours? 5 minutes? It should be longer than that, but it's probably because you don't have the Chicago Mercantile Exchange data feed. So to trade futures, you need Chicago you need data from the CME. But if you have like a prop firm account, all you got to do is go down here and sign into it, and then you get live data for free. So I pay for the data for like through Tradeify. It's like $4.99, something like that. Like I just pay for it. But if you want to get it for free, you can do it with the prop firm account just by signing in there. Are we able to make indicator for something like ICT 2022 model? Yeah, send me a message in the Discord. Send me a message in the Discord. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. price is not, price is not doing much right now. Price is not doing much. Like I said, for me to kind of take something here, I need to see a push up, rebalance, and inversion, or I need to see a slam down through this 15-minute gap, rebalance, and then inversion. So, right now we're just kind of chilling right here. I don't want to do much. I don't want to do much in this area. So, I'm sure a lot of traders find that very boring. That I'm not gonna, that I'm not gonna take a trade right here. But, but that's that's just my strategy. So. For me and like my trading, less is always more. Like every time when I try to get like super aggressive, 5 trades a day, just like trade, never works out. Throughout my years of trading, never works out. I'm sure it works out for some people. I know it works out for some people. I know it works out for a lot of really, really great traders. But for me, my style, it's less is more. I like to be very patient, get my 1 trade, 1-2 trades, and I'm out. If I don't see it, I don't trade. Do I copy trade? Yes. Yeah, Victor, send me a message in the Discord. RZ says that's the best way to do it. Yep. I mean, it is, that's one different thing about trading from like other businesses is like a lot of other businesses, like the more work you do, the more, the more success you see. But like with trading, at least from my perspective, the less you do, the more you get. It's the complete opposite of most businesses. Which is also why it's so hard for people, because people think, oh, like, if I put in so much work, if I'm in front of the charts 24/7, I'll make more money, right? Now, like you can go study the charts all you want, but like when you're sitting there trading 24/7, at some point you're gonna blow your account. It's mentally draining too. And just like the edge is not there 24/7. At least for my strategy. Well. For most strategies, I would say, but yeah, I mean, like, if you are up pretty solid on the day after 1 or 2 trades, like, like you're done, you're done, because there's not really like, there's not edge every single second of the day. For every single strategy, right? It varies, and like that's what took me like a long time to understand, was that like, I always wanted to go in every single day, just with the same thing, looking for the same thing, like some days it just wasn't there. It's just very bad delivery. Like it was just a day where I should have just not even turned on my computer. Because I would see my setup, but delivery was not there, and it would just it would have been better if I would not have traded. So less is more in my opinion, in short. But every trader is different, so just hide from the charts. It's funny. So again, we're still just holding this right here. Still holding this fair value gap. Still holding this fair value gap. We did inverse this one right here. By the way, would you guys be interested in this fair value gap indicator? So like, I only turn it on like every now and then, just to kind of like scan to see where all the fair value gaps are. But it draws every single fair value gap on the chart. So like you can see it right here. Would you guys be interested in something like this? Like I know it's like a lot. Like I have it for myself. I don't really have anything in the settings because it's just like kind of for myself right now. But it just so you can quickly scan the the chart to see where the gaps are. Like I haven't published it, but if you guys are interested in it, I could publish it for free. So if you guys want to know my entry model, here it is, right here. Here's the entry model. So try if it was on Tradeify. Alright guys, so if we look at this over here, you know, if we kind of look under the microscope, what do we got going on right here? We got this little gap right here, this little 1 minute gap. So, you know, you can see we're kind of holding that. Let's see if we do want to inverse this. We got a second left, so we gapped up. So we gapped up above the fair value gap. You know, we kind of have this little guy going right here, right? Let's check out ES. Yeah, so you know, like ES took out that high. Here, let me draw it real quick. ES took out this high right here. While NQ did not take out that high, so that's bearish. That's bearish momentum. You know, like I said, you know, like this is just not an area that I kind of want to get, that I kind of want to participate in the market. Like I just want to stay out right here. You know, like for example, like this morning, you know, like we were downtrending nice, pulling back into the 15-minute gap, inversion right there. You know, that's nice. You know, this. We're not really doing that. Not really doing that right here. I would kind of say like the area for this would have been like, okay, look for the rebalance. You know, like look for price to pull back into this 15-minute gap. You can see we tapped the CE. And then maybe, you know, something like this. You know, you have like two double gaps right there in the 1 minute. Maybe that inversion right there. You know, something, I would say something like this maybe. I wasn't on the charts at this time, but you know, something like that, and then look for higher. You know, that's like TP1. Look for higher after that. How long have I been trading for? I've been trading live for, let's see, 6 or 7 years, I think. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it is a long time. It's a long time for sure. Guys, price kind of died out right here. Price kind of died out. Is anyone in a trade right now? Anyone in a trade? You know, here I got a question for the chat. Do you guys hold? Well, here, okay. Let's do this first. Yeah, okay. So, do you guys have one target or do you guys have multiple targets? If you guys have one target, type 1. If you guys have multiple targets, type 2. Charles isn't short. Good luck, Charles. Good luck. One target for RZ, 2 for Victor. There's no right or wrong answer. Trail to stop, but new, definitely did it wrong. Most of the time I have 2, or well, most of the time I trail my, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. Most of the time I have multiple targets. Most of the time I got multiple targets. Trailing, you know, I've never really found like great success with trailing. Well, I've tried trailing throughout the years, and like what I've learned from trailing is like you got like to actually trail, like you got to give yourself some room, and like you got to make sure you've already secured like a lot of like good profit, because most of the time like it'll get tagged out, at least for me. Like what I do is I'll usually kind of like once I hit my TP1 or whatever, I'll like take some off, then I'll go break even, and then I just kind of like, it's like risk off, like just let it go, right? If I see, you know, we're going down more, you know, we're kind of rejecting, maybe like, you know, take a little bit more, or take like, you know, a few more contracts off or whatever, that kind of, you know. Then if I'm like super, like I usually don't start trailing my stop until I'm like pretty close to my final target, just to kind of like guarantee like that big win. So yeah, it's like I was what day was it? It was Tuesday I was in a long, and like during the trade, I remember it spiked up like super fast. So I was in a long, spiked up, like I was copy trading my funded accounts, had my live account on it and everything, and spiked up, and I thought to myself, I was like, old me would go break even right now, but I knew it was too early to go break even, and I waited for that TP1, and right after that little spike, price went right back down, tap break even, and then just shot right up to my targets. So I was so glad that I was able to hold that thing to my actual target. Yeah, RC, you know, that's good. That's good. You know, it, like, everyone's different. You know, some people have multiple targets, some don't, right? But yes, I am, Tamara. Exactly, Victor. Exactly. See, like, that's what I'm talking about. It usually comes back. So like I usually, like, I don't like to go break even until we're at TP1. So most of the time, like, you know, there are exceptions, things like that, but like most of the time, that's good, RZ. That's very good as well. You know, one target, like especially like if you're on props too, like just 1R, like if you're just going for 1R, like that's all you need. You know, I don't I'm not a huge fan in running it just like, you know, in crazy R, especially on prop firms. You know, that's not really my style. Like every now and then, like if price is just ripping, just we have a strong buy sequence, and you know, and I'm leaving some runners, like, you know, every now and then, yeah, but like for the most part, like I'm taking off like at least, like most of the time, probably half my position at run 1R, if not more. So, you know, that's just kind of my style. But to be honest, like what for me, like what I've seen is like once you're actually in the trade, like managing the trade is actually harder than the entry. Like the entry, I mean, like, you know, like the entry's hard, but managing the trade is much harder than the actual entry. Because once you're in the trade, you know, like it can hit your targets, but it might, you know, might drop first, might go up a little bit, might go break even, might, you know, you might get trailed out. Like there's so many different things that can happen, you know, because like, yeah, like it's like managing the trade's harder in my opinion than actually entering the trade. So like, you know, like if you are like new to trading, or if you're struggling with that, like I would just say just at that one, just kind of go for that 1R area. Like don't just blindly like place your target at 1R, but like at kind of that 1R area, like take, you know, at least 50% of your position off, move the rest to break even. You know, you can take off the whole thing if you want to, right? But yeah. Guys, price has not done anything. You know, like I'm glad I'm not in a trade. Like good luck to everyone that's in a trade right now. Good luck to them. But you know, like for like, you know, we are like, you know, we did kind of like pull back in this gap, get inversions here, things like that. But it's nothing that's making me like, oh yeah, like I gotta get into a trade. No, like for me to do that, it would be like, okay, we gotta launch up here, inverse this hourly gap, rebalance into like a 5 or 15 gap, inverse a 1 minute, and then we're going. You know, like that's what I'm looking for. You know, that's what I'm looking for right there. Here, you know, we're not really doing that. You know, we're just, you know, like, yeah, you know, like we're kind of, you know, taking out like lows. You can see, you know, you can see right here, price took out this low right here, right? You might get like some type of inversion right here or something, you know, but overall we're kind of just like in this, you know, and I don't like that. I don't like that. You can kind of play like a few points here and there for it, but you know, barely green. Hey, it's green's green. Green is green. Let's see. Do you guys trade funded accounts like prop firms? Yeah. Do you guys trade prop firms, or do you guys trade live accounts, like your own money? What do you guys do? Or do you guys do both? Oh, look at that slam down off that gap. Let's see. Someone was in a short here. Who was it? Charles. Charles. Good luck, Charles. You just got out of the short. So we ran back up, tapped that fair value gap, and then just slammed back down. Which, Charles, did you get out like up here? Is that what? They're like, yeah, they're on the phone. They're like, guys, Charles is out. Charles got out. Let's slam at 10 points. They're watching your 3 micro prop firm position. Yeah, no, hey, it's all good. It's all good, you know. It's all good. Can't let things like that bother you. That's how you go on tilt. The biggest thing with trading, like if there's like a new trader like in front of me, it's like, you know, what's one of the biggest things, right? I would say survive. You know, just survive. Like don't, like at the beginning, don't worry about making money. Just worry about keeping that account alive. And you do that by just 1 to 2 trades a day, normal position sizing, no tilt, right? No tilt, no matter what type of, you know, flukes there are in the market or anything, just survive. All right, so I do like how we are inversing this 1 minute gap, right? Like even though I'm not really gonna take a trade inside this box, I do like how we are inversing that gap. I'm just kind of, you know, tape reading right now. I do like this momentum that we got going here. I could see us taking out these lows, this low resistance liquidity that we got. I could see us taking that out, probably back to the CE, I would say. We are tapping into that 15-minute gap again. So there are, yeah, okay. So we got about 8 minutes till this hourly close. Looks like we did slam that thing hard, that hourly gap. You know, like I said, you know, for us to, I'd like to see us inverse this. I'd like to see us inverse this 15-minute gap and then look for lower. Because what do we have down here, guys? What do we have down here? Does anyone know what this is? If you guys are ICT guys, you guys should definitely know what this is. New day opening gap. I mean, like, even if you're not ICT guys, like you should know. But new day opening gap right here, guys. So maybe, you know, maybe price wants to inverse this, slam lower down into this, maybe. I feel like you overtrade. Just, you know, all you got to do is just 1 to 2 trades a day, right? If you get a solid win that first trade, you're, you know, just end it there. It was up almost 400 earlier, gave it all back. What's NDOG good for? You know, price likes to go back to it. Price likes to go back to it. Price likes to fill it. Sometimes likes to bounce it, things like that. It's just an area of interest that, you know, that price likes. So, you know, if we do get a strong sell sequence through this 15-minute gap, you know, I would look for, this is what I would look for. I would look for like a higher time frame gap, like let's say we got like a 5-minute gap. I'll look for a 5-minute gap. I'll look for like a 1-minute inversion inside that, something like this. And then I would look for that short down, something like, you know, something like this, down to maybe the CE of this right here. And then, you know, hold to the top of that. You know, maybe try to scale out along the way, just, you know, whatever happens, happens. But, you know, again, secure kind of most of my profit at that 1R area. 1.6, you know, kind of wherever that closest area is on the chart, you know what I mean? It's like that right there, you know, like if you look at that, you know, it's basically this. It's the same thing as that right there. So, you know. You know, here was a trade from, see this one, yeah, this one right here. This one tapped into an hourly gap, 1-minute inversion, strong buy sequence, ripped up. Going back to the short and not chickening out. Good luck, Charles. Good luck. Are we close to 35 likes? Let's see. We are at 12. We are at 12. We're less than halfway there. At 35 likes, I will do an Apex giveaway, which it's not looking like we're gonna hit it tonight. If we don't hit it tonight, then I'll do it next week, for sure. Like in the Discord. By the way, if you guys are not in the Discord, it's free. I stream at my New York AM session. That's where I really kind of stack my accounts, go more size, things like that. During New York AM, so just doing at you. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, thank you. During my Asia stream, you know, like I do, you know, I like to kind of just, it's a little bit more relaxing, size down, chill, hang out. Oh, that thing just popped off that 15-minute gap. Yeah, I mean, like look at this right here. Like this is what I'm trying to stay out of. You know, I'm trying to stay out of this. Like let's say we do inverse this here and we get that closure down there, then like, yeah, you know, then we can look for this, right? But just in there, or you know, like if we do get this little pop, boom, right? Then we can look for that. But I don't want to, you know, like we're just right inside this hourly gap. So like, you know, if we look at this, right? What did we do? We took out this, took out that high. We can say that's what? We can say that's like a pretty solid area right there, right? So, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we could say that's buy side. Take out buy side. Take out buy side inside the hourly gap. You know, the inversion that I'm looking for is this 15-minute gap. I usually don't really look for 15-minute inversions. It's very, very rare, like for entries off of. But since tonight is like, well, since it is Asia session, you know, a little bit bigger, kind of want to stay out of the mess in here on the 1 minute. Because this is it. This is ugly. This is very ugly right here. Very ugly. I'm gonna hop off here in a few minutes. You know, not really seeing anything that's like great for me. Like I said, guys, I'm a very patient, or at least I like to think so. I like to think that I'm a very patient trader. I'm working to become a very patient trader. How about that? Yeah, there we go. Charles, you're back in the money. You're back in the money, Charles. Okay, so we have this gap right here. We want price to inverse this 1 minute gap. We need price 10 seconds for this candle closure. We want price to inverse this thing. All right, so we did close towards the bottom of that gap right there. If we want to see that inversion for the bears, if you are bearish, we want to see the inversion. Now, okay, so here, if you guys watched my most recent YouTube video on change in state of delivery, right, for the bulls, you guys want to see a change in state of delivery. And we never got a change in state of delivery. To get that bullish change in state of delivery, you would need to break this right here to go from sell side to buy side. You can see, what did we do? We pulled up to it, we rejected it, we slammed off of it. Right, I'm going to delete this. I don't need that. See, we pulled up to this level right here, slammed off of it. You know, we're looking to continue lower here. So the sellers are in control right now. Very, very briefly, you know, like I said, you know, but like I said earlier, this is a very messy range. I don't really want to try to get long or short in here. I want us to break out of this area for me to get long or short. But yeah. So we did inverse that little 1 minute gap right there. So, you know, let's see what happens. Creating a BPR as well. So let's see if we do hold that and push lower. You know, yeah, we'll see. Let's see what happens here. You know, we are kind of building this up right here, right? So I'm waiting for price to inverse this 15-minute gap. I either to inverse this 15-minute gap or to inverse this 1 hour gap over here. One or the other. I don't really care which one. But that's gonna give me like an idea of what's going on. You know, because right now, like that's why we're kind of messy right here. You know, we're like, if you look at the 15, it's so messy just because we're sandwiched between this gap and then the CE of this gap. You know. It's yeah, I mean, at least in my opinion, that's kind of what's going on here. But, you know, delivery is not great right now. Delivery is not great at all, which is also another reason why I don't really want to be in here. I don't want to be in the market. I don't want to participate right now because of that. But which gap? So the hourly gap. You know, this hourly gap right here. Let's see, we're sandwiched between that gap, and then we're sandwiched between this 15-minute gap right here. So that's kind of giving us, you know, bad delivery right now, I guess. We're just chopping around in here, so we're waiting for price to get outside of this. You know, we're just kind of going to the top of that gap, back to the CE, top of the gap, kind of just between it, just right in the middle right now. So, you know, and we don't really have crazy momentum either, you know, so if it inverts the 15-minute, I would go short. Not immediately. What I would wait for is I would wait for prices to inverse the gap. And then I would wait for some type of pullback into like a fair value gap, like, you know, like a 15 or a 5 minute, you know, let's say like a 5 minute, and then I would wait for a 1 minute inversion inside that to get short. So like that, like this would like right now, my bias is not like super clear. Just because we're kind of right in the middle. We could either inverse this 1 hour gap and push higher, or we could inverse this 15-minute gap and then push lower. So right now it's very indecisive for me. So once we do inverse one of those gaps, then that's going to kind of give me an idea of what's going on. You know, so I don't always have like a bias or something. Like sometimes I just kind of wait until, you know, I kind of understand what's going on. Because like if I don't understand what's going on right now, you know, and I just see like, oh, like inversions here, inversions, like I might just start getting like in a bunch of random trades, you know, and like the delivery is not great at all right now either. So there's no reason for me to take a trade. If I had to choose, I would say bearish. Like if I had to choose, I'll be bearish here. Charles is killing it. Charles is killing it in this trade. Please tell me you're still in, Charles. We're going for this right here. We're gonna take this low out. Not financial advice. Not financial advice. Where's your entry price? Let's see. I'm gonna guess 21,888. 890. Okay. That was close. That was close. Yeah, so this kind of like the best thing that I'm seeing right here is something like this. That's kind of like the best thing that I'm seeing right there. Something like that. I would probably take off majority of my position right here. Then I'll leave maybe like, just 1/3 for this gap fill down here. Oh. Whoa, look at that. That's a pretty strong spike. If, I would definitely start taking some profits. Definitely start taking some profits. There you go, Charles. There you go, Charles. Dinner's on Charles, guys. Dinner is on Charles tonight. There you go. He's out 2/3. Yeah, nice trade. Very nice trade. Yep. I need A5 Wagyu. I'll take some A5 Wagyu. Brisket for Tamara. All right, so what did we do here? So we took out this low right here. All right, took out low. So I want to see how price reacts off this. Does price want to just snap right back up and inverse this gap? If we do that, like let's say we do inverse this, that would be a good area to go long. That would be a pretty good area to go long right there. Something like that. We would have to inverse these gaps. I would like for us to get a 5-minute gap here. I would just use the 2-minute. I would use the 2-minute gap right here. 2-minute would be sufficient. So we do have that 2-minute gap. So if we do inverse that gap, you could look for something like that. But then let's say we don't inverse the gap, right? Let's say we just continue and we continue to inverse this 15-minute. Then that's when we can look for lower. But I do like how we did take out that low. So if we do take out that low and snap up hard, then we can look for longs. But if we continue lower, then obviously we're going for new day opening gap, which is very likely. This, if we inverse this 15-minute gap, this is my draw. This is my draw of liquidity. This is this new day opening gap. Which, let's look at this. We do have a new hour. This candle closes in 5 minutes. I really want to see where this thing closes. I mean, like someone earlier said that if this inverses, would I go short? I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. It would not be a bad idea. It would not be a bad idea at all. Just leave like a few contracts on it. Just let it go overnight. It would not be a bad idea at all. Whoever said it was, who was it? It was I think it was RZ. Yeah. RZ said it. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe. I usually don't do 15-minute trades that often, but you know, overnight this might be a little good play. If we do inverse on this candle, then I'll take it. How about that? Which we are pushing. We are pushing. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we got 4 minutes left. I'm going to go to the restroom real quick. I'll be back in about, I don't know, a minute or two. All right, I'm back, guys. I'm back. All right, so it looks like we did poke our head through the bottom of that 15-minute gap. You know, yeah, like I said before I left, so I'm not in this trade. I'm not in this trade right now. I'm not in. This 15-minute candle does close in a minute and a half. It looks like we're not going to get that. You know, this would be like, if we were to inverse that wouldn't be a bad idea to go short. But we poked our head through, and looks like we're flipping back up. So let's drop back down to the lower time frame. What do we need for our change in state of delivery? Well, our change in state of delivery would be above this candle, or this body right there. We do have it. Let's see. We do have a gap. Let me look at the 2 minute real quick. Yeah. Okay. So for me to get long here, I don't know. It's tough. Like, I do like how we did take it out. I do like how we did take this out. We did do the gap fill, but we got a gap here. We got a gap here. And we got a gap here. No, we only have 2 gaps. Sorry. So, Victor says he's long. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck, Victor. Long above that body. I mean, like, that would give us our change in state of delivery, but I'm trying to think here. I would like a long above this inversion right here. This one right here. So, like, I mean, like, the tricky thing is, like, if we go to the 5, ideally, okay, so this will close. Okay, so I see what we're doing. Okay. So this makes it much easier. So it's kind of annoying that it's this big, but it's the safest option. We do have a 5-minute gap right here. If you want to be safe, use this inversion right here. Because I like this, you know, like if we do get that strong buy sequence through, and we do have our sweep right there, so we did take out liquidity. We are in a higher time frame PD array, which is the 15-minute gap. If we do get this nice buy sequence to inverse this 5-minute gap, something like this could be likely. Something like that could be likely. You would look for that, and then you would look for higher, right? But then let's say we just pull back up here to the CE and then rebalance and push lower, which is why like let's say we have like a 1-minute gap, which we do, you know, let's say we have a 1-minute gap right here. Let's say we inverse that 1-minute gap, this one right here. You know, like if it ends up running up, yeah, you know, it looks great, it looks amazing, but we can easily inverse this gap, rebalance the 5-minute gap, which is the bigger gap, and then go lower. So then if you're like, oh, like after, you know, hindsight after, you're like, oh, well, you know, it's obvious. So me, like if we do have a 5-minute overlapping the 1-minute, I always like to wait for that 5-minute, even though it is a little bit later. But everyone's different, you know, everyone's different. I just sent you a friend request. Yeah, that is not me. There's a million fake yard cows in the Discord. So we are rebalancing in the hourly gap as well. Yeah, so we did kind of tap into the hourly, this big hourly gap too. We've stopped to break even. Very nice, Victor. Yeah, Victor's probably doing pretty solid. So, you know, this is kind of an important area right here, this 5-minute gap. Or are we going to inverse it, or are we going to hold it and flip? I do not know. I do not know, but I do like how we took this liquidity out and we held this gap. So if we do get the inversion, then yeah, I'll take it. We got a minute 50 left. Hopefully we can do it on this candle. $866 overtrade as usual. Charles, you're up good. You're up good. You don't need to give it back. $866. So you're already up about 10 points, 11 points. Just be careful, guys, that we are inside this 5-minute gap. You know, personally, I'm waiting for the inversion of the 5-minute gap. I understand I'm getting in later, but that's, you know, it's a risk that I'm willing to take. I said I was gonna hop off like 20 minutes ago, but then price action kind of picked up. Got a minute left in this candle. Yeah, it did. Come on, can we inverse on this candle? We got 39 seconds left. Are we gonna be able to inverse here? This is an awesome buy sequence right here. Awesome buy sequence. Let me get everything ready. Let's see. So that you know, we're running up to that high. Okay, cool. Got 40-point stop. This thing's it's not gonna inverse on this candle. It's gonna have another candle. Close. Wait, did it do it? No, it didn't do it. Oh wait, no. Almost did. So we did gap fill the 5 minute. That's why we are rejecting right now. So the bulls want to see these gaps get held up, specifically, well, this gap right here. I'm not in yet. I'm not in. This will be very interesting if we inverse this gap. It'll be very interesting. You know, we are still staying below this thing right here. You guys look at this. But we did take out that liquidity, so this thing can probably give us that juice to push up if it wanted to. Hopping back in, hopping back in. Good luck, Charles. Remember what you said a few minutes ago. Don't overtrade. But if that's your strategy, you know, and you know you're trading within your strategy rules, then go for it. But I don't want to hold anyone back. You need to refine strategy rules. Yeah. I like to just keep it simple. I like to just keep it simple. 1-2 trades a day. If I get a good win right off the bat, I'm done for the day. Use proper sizing. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Less is more. Less is more. Which is hard because it's opposite of most businesses. Most businesses, you want to, the more work you put in, the more you get out. But this is different. Like, yeah, Charles, like that's that's what used to happen to me, you know, like I would just trade, like I would be up and then I would take a loss, and then, you know, just it's because like at some point throughout the day the market, like, delivery just dies out, you know. So it's you know, if delivery was A plus every single second of the day in the market, people would be billionaires in, you know, like, I mean, everyone would be billionaires from the market, you know. All right, so we did tap that 1 minute gap right there, and we did looks like we're kind of pushing pretty hard off it. So, you know, we do this 5 minute. I do want to see where this candle closes. I do want to see where this thing closes. We do have a minute 10 left. I do have to go make some food pretty soon here, guys. I've been delaying it. I thought I was gonna hop off like 30 minutes ago. I'm pretty hungry. Can we get this? Can we get this? No, I'm trying to wait for this trade. I'm trying to wait. I'm probably gonna get in and then just like hop off. I joined your Discord. Be bugging you, trying to learn as much as possible. Awesome, yeah. Welcome to the Discord. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, like ICT concepts. It's very, very clear. You know, really clears up the market. Yeah, maybe Victor, maybe. Because like what are we doing? We are inside this 5-minute gap. Inside this 5-minute gap, rebalancing this 1-minute gap. You know, so it's like, you know, it's tough. You know, we did take out liquidity, but like, I don't know, it's tough. Yeah, Charles. I mean, like you had a good evening. You know, like I don't know what your P&L is like, but you know, just by the looks of it, you had a pretty good evening. That's another thing too. Is like don't trade P&L. Whenever you trade P&L, emotions start kicking in like crazy. You know, just trade the chart and then look at the P&L after. Like, oh, nice, yeah. You know, so it's there. You go. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of slowing down in this. I think I'm gonna hop off there. Like, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. If I do something, I will let you guys know in the Discord if I, happen to take something. But I'm pretty hungry, so I'm gonna hop off there. So thank you for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. If you guys do want to get some Apex accounts, you can use code GC Trading or Take Profit Trader, same code as well as Funded Futures Network. But yeah, go ahead, join our free Discord. Link for that is in the description below. It's completely free. I trade live for New York AM in there. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please hit that like button. I'll see you tomorrow in the Discord. Adios.